Hi, I'm Tim Zacharias with Cougar USA and your host of Building Value. Today's episode, we are joined with Cynthia Halsey from BG Talent. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are obviously on Zoom for this episode, a little bit different platform than the other episodes of Building Value, but we are practicing our social distancing during COVID-19, but still want to bring some new, guests and shows during this time. So we're going to keep it going this way. So in today's episode, we're going to cover a little bit of Cynthia's background and also going to talk about BG Talent and their focus on commercial real estate and how that can save property and facilities managers time and money. And we're also going to talk about how they prep candidates, including tomorrow's tech program. On Building Value, we go behind the scenes at some of the most iconic buildings in Texas to showcase the incredible people that design, build, and maintain them and their impact on the community. So after U of H, what did you do next?
Well, actually, the story as it goes, I graduated high school, got married young, and went into the property management. And I didn't decide to go into college until I was 27-ish.
Okay.
So my son was just born, and I kind of looked down at him and I said, "Hey, I got to do something, with my life." And that's whenever I went back to school to become a teacher. So that's why I went back. So there was some years in between that. And then adding a little bit more of a layer to the story, while I was going to school full time and working full time and taking care of one and two kids now, that's whenever I decided that I was going to join the military. So if you want to get
Well,
something done, just give it to a busy person, right?
yeah, that's awesome. And that was with the Coast Guard, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I'm still in today.
That's awesome. Well, appreciate your service. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I guess. And then recently, through all of that, you came back to the commercial real estate world, kind of where you started doing the property management. And now you've joined BG Talent. And can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing there and what BG Talent does?
Yes. So a little bit of a whirlwind. So after I taught for 10 years, I kind of took a step back from teaching for a little bit. I was going to just work my side business that I have. And then I was going to pick up orders every now and then with, the military outside my reserve weekends. And I literally sat at home for maybe 3 months before my friend and now one of my bosses reached out to me and said, "Hey, BG Talent, it's just a conversation." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's hear about it." And so we went to Starbucks and had a cup of coffee. And 2 hours later, she had told me that although with BG Talent, you hear it and you think property management, she said it's something that you can do where you really do make a difference. Like calling somebody and saying, this client wants to offer you a position, or calling a candidate and saying that this client is very interested in you and would like to move forward with you, is pretty exhilarating. And so when I felt that for the first time, I knew that it was going to be a good fit, because you truly are making a difference in someone's life. It is, and it's immediate, and it makes
Yeah.
it literally sends chills up your spine whenever that happens. So, I jumped on and I haven't looked back. So here I am today, doing an awesome podcast with you.
So, I think it's just really interesting with the recruiting. You get to work with both the clients and the candidates. So can you tell us a little bit about the clients that you're serving first, and then let's talk about the candidates second.
You got it. So BG Talent is part of BG Staffing. And so what makes us different is we have that expertise and that niche that when you call us, you are going to be able to receive a candidate from us that already has that commercial real estate experience, whether it's in property management or whether it's in maintenance. And so that's what's really going to make us different whenever you're calling us, and the difference. So if you need something that is, or if you need a position filled that is going to be on the multifamily side, then we would steer you towards the multifamily side. If you need someone that's IT, then we would send you to our IT division. So we really have the ability to take someone's request and streamline it and get you exactly where you need to be in order to get the best candidate for your position that they have open.
I'd just like to ask a little bit about, sometimes when people may want to think about using a recruiter, they have a certain type of position in mind where they feel like, oh, well, I'll use a recruiter for that, but I don't necessarily need one for a technical position, or maybe they think it's going to be too expensive. What do you think, or what are the types of roles that seem to make sense for y'all with, being the recruiter, and how do you justify that the fee or offset the fee?
Yes, great question. So we staff anything from maintenance to property management. So anything in between. If it's on a property, we can staff for that. And whether it's a day porter or it's an admin or it's an executive position. So we can definitely staff for that as well. You can do temp, which is, 8 hours, or, it could be 3 months, however long you need the temp position for. We also have contract to hire. We have direct hire, and we have payroll. Contract to hire is 520 hours, which essentially the employee is going to work at your property, but they'll be on our payroll. So you're kind of dating them before you marry them. And so it's a really great
Correct.
way to it's a great work in progress. And if the candidate's working out wonderfully for you, then awesome. We'll get them hired on. We can convert them. And we have a way to convert that. Of course, you're not going to double pay for them. And you just pay the difference in the fee, and they're yours, and you can move forward with them. And, it's a great marriage. And then if it didn't work out and, you have somebody working on your property for 100 hours of the 520, you call me and you say, Cynthia, this person isn't working out for whatever reason. Let's try somebody else. And then we would just send you a new person based upon the skill sets and the work history that you're seeking. And then they would finish out the 420 hours. So we're not going to have them come and work the other 100 hours that the previous employer did. They're going to make up the difference. Will always be very fair. And then, of course, direct hire is a lot of times utilized for your more senior positions. Anybody that is a veteran, building engineer, somebody that whenever they come on, you really want to pull them underneath your wing, make them feel like they're family. And that is a direct hire placement fee. And then you bring them on immediately, and they would be on your payroll, and then and your insurance and the client's insurance. And then, of course, payroll is where they have the candidate themselves, but they don't want them on their payroll, so they put them on ours. So we can do that as well. And to be honest, as far as the fee that goes with any of that, I'll go back to the conversation of it is anywhere from 40 hours or more to get 3 qualified candidates in front of you. So it's a question of, is your time worth the money that you're spending going through the ad that you've posted for a, assistant property manager at a class property, and you receive 1,000 resumes for, tree trimmers, And so it really turns into a painstaking process if you don't have that time and you have a lot bigger fish to fry. We're here to fry that fish for you. And so we can do that, and it'll be worth your time. Not to mention, there's however long that position has been vacant before is the money that the client has been saving. And so whenever you really start making the bottom lines match up and, what is it worth or not worth, we can always have that conversation. And so pick up the phone, call me, and we can definitely work within your budget as well. So.
I think that's really cool that you get that, immediate kind of satisfaction from probably both the candidate and your client and the company that's hiring them. So, but I guess BG Talent is a little bit more specialized than a lot of recruiting firms in commercial real estate, correct?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how we are different. So the difference between us at BG Talent and any other staffing agency is that we are exclusively and solely recruiting for candidates that already have experience in commercial real estate. So when you call us and you say, hey, I need a maintenance tech, you're going to get a candidate from us that has already worked in the field if you're looking for an experienced personnel. Or whenever I walk into your office and I'm looking to speak with a decision maker on who might need, whether it's temp, contract to hire, direct hire, or even payroll services, I want them to know that when I'm walking into their office, that I know what they're talking about when they start throwing, all the acronyms out there, that I know what they're saying. I can understand it, and I'm going to be able to get that candidate in front of them with the skill sets that they're looking for at the pay rate that they are looking for. And I know what's fair and what the expectations are. So the communication is, um, it's not so much that it takes over and really clogs up the lines of communication, because in this industry, time is money. So clients don't have a lot of time to spend, hours on the phone with you or going back and forth with you through email. They want quick, fast results, and we can make that happen. We're not going to send you, a maintenance guy that has been doing residential unless that's something that you're looking for. So the more feedback that a client gives us and the more information that we get from candidates on the other side, the quicker we can move through the process. And I've got a talent coordinator. She's my teammate. Nothing happens in this without her. And her name is Leticia. And Leticia is responsible for collecting all of the candidates. And she's out there reaching out and going through ZipRecruiter. And, we are very, very well known, and we're all over the place on LinkedIn. And so she's making those connections through LinkedIn, and she's making sure that all the candidates are fully vetted and that they know what the expectations are before they walk into that interview. So we really just try to streamline the whole entire process. Statistics have shown that in order for a client to be able to get 3 qualified candidates in front of them in order to fill one position, it takes 40 hours. And I know that none of my clients have that much time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, who has 40 hours to find even 3 qualified? And that's not to say that one of those candidates haven't already picked up another job or that they end up, for any other reason. There could be all kinds of exclusions or inclusions. So we do all that work for you. So whenever we're sending you the candidates, we're sending you their information. It's going to be streamlined. And then if the client kicks back to us and says, yes, I like, Jimmy, he's amazing. And I like Jackie Chan, and he's amazing. And, Suzanne Summers, she's phenomenal. Like, let's just go with it. So we get all these people and we're going, and then we can move forward and we set up the interviews. And that way, when it's in front of them, it's already kind of packaged and put together whenever we deliver them to the client. That was it.
That's awesome. Yeah. To be able to kind of serve the broad range, like you said, but then also have those experts in that field, what they need, a little bit better. So what is it about you specializing in commercial real estate that kind of sets you apart from somebody that's maybe more of a generalist?
Well, that is exactly what we try to get across to our clients and our candidates every single day. So whenever you call us, we're going to be able to connect the dots, and we'll be able to connect them a lot quicker. And we'll be able to get you your candidate quicker than a typical standard staffing agency. So when you call us and you ask for an admin, you know that the admin that we're going to send you has the experience that you're looking for, that's going to be able to give you the level of professionalism that you need at your front desk. That's the face of your property whenever someone walks through. An administrative, whenever you call and you are looking for an admin to sit at your front desk, right? You are going to get a different type of candidate than someone that is an administrator for a dental office, right? You have different type of clients coming in. You have different types of guests and greeters coming in. So you really do need to know that whenever someone's walking in and they've had an issue in the parking garage, that they can take care of those obstacles very quickly. And the same thing if you're looking for an assistant property manager. When you start throwing that lingo out there saying, I need somebody that can do CAM expenses or Yardi, we can make sure that it's all happening, that you're getting Yardi for commercial versus Yardi for multifamily. And so that makes a big difference for our clients too, because again, they want to make sure that when they call us that we're moving fairly quickly and making sure that we're getting them the best client and the best candidate to them as possible.
That's perfect. And I'm sure they appreciate, that you may even have some experience, where people are being filled from another industry and that the challenges that may take. So for you to have that background and be specific to commercial real estate, I'm sure is, definitely an asset.
Yes, it makes a big difference for our clients and for our candidates. If our candidates want to stay in commercial real estate and they're looking for position and they call us, they know that they're going to be placed in the industry that they love and that they care about. So if they were to call XYZ staffing agency and they say, "Hey, I would like to be, a property manager," and then all of a sudden they start sending them into, to job positions and for interviews that have nothing to do with commercial real estate, then it just turns into a time wasting scenario, and we definitely don't want to do that.
Sure. And that's a perfect segue over to the candidate side. So, it sounds like there's two ways that you help candidates through this process. One is kind of generally getting prepped for an interview and through that whole process. And then you also do some really cool things, kind of prepping them on the technical side as well. So I'd like to talk about both of those.
Yeah. So when it comes to candidates, a lot of the prepping and a lot of the coaching comes directly from Leticia, our talent coordinator here in Houston. She is she's really good at making sure that when she talks to our candidates that they are aware of exactly what they're walking into, because we don't want, again, we want to make sure that everything is streamlined. So whenever our candidate walks into an office for an interview, that they know what the position is for, they know what the salary requirements are, what the skill sets are that are required, because nothing is more of a time waster than sending someone to an interview and then they say, "Oh, never mind, I didn't realize that I was going to be a mobile engineer for the whole south side of Houston." That's the kind of information that we're already going to have, and we're going to know that they're okay with being a mobile and engineer for the whole south side of Houston. And so we're going to make sure that that's taken care of. And then as far as the technical side of the of the candidate side for Leticia, when she's speaking to the clients, I'm sorry, to the candidates, she's also putting them through a very through the process of doing a background check. She's going to make sure that they fall into that place. We get a full application. And then, of course, we are going to do some coaching with them if they need it on any type of interview questions, what to look for, questions to ask, and really just kind of get them moving, which also brings me to something that we're rolling out, which we're very excited about, is a one-way interview process. So taking into consideration that time is money, whenever a client calls and says, "I would like to see, an APM," we are looking to collect one-way interviews with like the top 10 questions of our candidate to send to our client so they can start going through resumes and looking at candidates a lot quicker. So we are right now in the process of sending out those questions to our candidates, and they can answer those questions one way through their phone or through their computer, and then they send them to us, and then we have a short little video to send to our clients from us, so they can kind of get a little bit of a sneak peek of all the candidates that we are looking to send them. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I mean, what perfect timing to roll something like that out. I mean, not only just with the social distancing requirements and things like that, a lot of these things like this have moved to a virtual kind of environment. But I mean, I could see that being a challenge for a lot of people to be able to set that up and do that. So for you guys to be able to take that, up front, get that virtual interview done and get it over to them, probably, like you said, saves a lot of time and money.
You got it. You got it. It's going to be perfect, really, honestly. And we'll be able to get quick feedback from the client, and then we can we can go ahead and get the process moving, because every single day that they don't have somebody in that position is a day that somebody's working overtime or that they're losing money somehow or some way. So we're there to take care of that for them.
That's great. And what about the some of the additional training or kind of the more on the trade side work that you've done? There's a lot of people that may have recently been out of a job with everything that's going on. A lot of people maybe have been furloughed, but a lot of commercial real estate is going to be considered essential and is still working. Um, but there may be people that have a gap in skills to be able to be a building engineer, stationary engineer. Can you talk a little bit about the work that you've done there?
So we are preparing for the floodgates to open up here fairly quickly. As soon as the social distancing is lifted, we are ready to rock and roll. Leticia, once again, I can't do anything without her. She is already in contact with any of our candidates that have been furloughed or laid off. So whenever the clients call me and say, "Hey, Cynthia, we need to get a maintenance tech here to take care of this today," or "I need a day porter just to come in here and get this property back into top tape to top not top tape to tip
Tip
top
top.
shape, knock the dust off the counters, and because we have everybody coming back to work, we will have temp employees ready to move and get that process rolling. So right now, to answer your question, Leticia is busy making sure that our candidates are ready to rock and roll, that they're vetted, and that whenever the client calls and needs somebody on that day, we can make it happen, whether it's for a day or for a week or months. So we're busy making sure that we have everybody ready to go, and keeping our finger on the pulse of exactly what's happening here in Houston is definitely what we're trying to. With the ebb and the flow of everything, it changes, but I think we really have a good handle on it at this point.
We've talked recently about this new program that you have coming out called Tomorrow's Tech. I'd love to hear some more about that.
So Tomorrow's Tech is something that we have been working on for quite a while, even before I put my feet onto the solid soil of BG Talent. I've got some amazing leadership above me that have really been very passionate about making sure that the backfill for our trade in maintenance for commercial real estate is going to have that's going to be filled, that we have candidates that are ready to go, because what is actually happening is everyone's starting to age out. And somewhere in the years before us, if you were to ask any chief engineer or anybody that has been in maintenance on the commercial real estate side, that when they're looking for talent, the talent just is not there. And so we are looking to alleviate that situation. So I have done some due diligence, and I've had some face-to-face conversations, and I've visited, and we have partnered with a local trade school who has, whether it's somebody that's seeking a second career in commercial real estate, and or just a trade for HVAC techs or electrical or electricians. This school is willing to work hand in hand with us in order for us to get these candidates to our clients. Now, yes, these students are going to be what you would call green, right? But once upon a time, I had somebody that I respect very highly in the commercial real estate say, "I would take attitude over aptitude any day." So
Yep.
if you have anybody that is willing to learn, anybody that knows how to take redirection and has a good attitude, I want them on my property versus somebody that has 10, 15 years worth of experience and has a bad attitude, has just not the type of candidate that you want on your property. But I want somebody that is willing to get out here and just put their hands on some things and make magic happen. So what we have on our hands is aptitude, is definitely important, but we are getting our hands on a wonderful program where we have students and we have second career students that are really looking to get into commercial real estate. So we are partnering with other clients in the Houston area, and we are letting them know that we do have some really great students on the rise. The school that we're working with has graduates every month, and if they're looking to either do an internship or just shadow for the day, shadow a chief for a day, or shadow a veteran building engineer, then we are going to offer those students to be able to do that. So we are really hoping that with this program that we're working, which is Tomorrow's Tech, we are hoping to fix that back fill and really be able to get the students in front of them. And then, of course, we're going to be partnering with you on our very first Tomorrow's Tech, which we're exciting about. So we know that you're going to come on and you're going to give your pumps 101 and really kind of explain to these guys what they're looking at, because at this point we're going to be doing our first class and we already have 22 RSVPs from the school, and then we already have a good handful of candidates that would like to attend the class as well. So we're super excited about it.
I think it's a great program and applaud everything that y'all are doing on that. I mean, over the years in general, I think trades have kind of taken a back seat to maybe going to 4 years college right out of high school. That being pushed is the main way to be successful. And, I think especially with everything that's going on now, I mean, that this may change people's minds that, hey, there's some really good career opportunities through these trade schools where I can go through, get a quicker education and start making good money a lot sooner with less debt, and still have a good career path to move up in these organizations. So we're happy to be a part of it, and we thank you for including us.
Oh yeah, I'm totally pumped.
No, I have too. I really do think it's going to be a great program, and excited to get started as well. So very cool. So I think I said it earlier. I think it's really cool that you're both invested in the client, getting to know their needs, digesting them quickly, like you said, and then having the candidates as well that you're building up to try to fill those problems. So solving two problems at once, fitting the right person in the right place. So
Yeah, you
it's
got
very
it.
cool.
You got it. We're working. The program is going to continue to grow, and we are going to learn a lot through it. And we hope to take it to different levels. So we might have intro to commercial real estate, 101, and then we hope to tier the classes and really work with this trade school as well, and utilize their classrooms, and then bring in other vendor partners like yourself, and really be able to have almost like a full-fledged group of students just moving through and
Hmm.
being able to take care of, I guess, golly, for lack of a better word, crisis when it comes
Yeah,
to trade for commercial real estate, because we got to get it fixed.
that's great. I think you're on the right path. So that's really good. Um, so you mentioned crisis. So what have you seen that's happening with recruiting in general, and with COVID-19 and all the social distancing, and essential businesses being the only ones that are going on? How has that affected what y'all are doing in the recruiting world?
Well, specifically, we definitely have had a few of our contract to hire candidates be pulled back, and the hours have been cut. So it has slowed down a little bit for us. But on the flip side, we've had some clients that have called and said, I need somebody now today. And so, whether it's because they have their essential personnel and somebody, can't make it in for that day, or they've chosen to, stay home and social distance for, until whatever date we're looking at. So
Yeah.
we've had to, definitely take on and fulfill that need as well. And what we are seeing is, while it is slowing a little on the backside, it might slowing a little bit from the client side, but on the backside where the candidates are, where Leticia is, they're coming at her full force and saying, this is what I'm feeling is about to happen. I feel that at this point, my building is here, and I need to know that I have somewhere to go after this. So we really are in a very delicate place, and it's a balancing act between knowing that the need is here and we can fill it, and then it flops sometimes just depending on what's kind of going on. So right now we're hearing what's happening. I'm watching the job boards. I'm paying very close attention to, all of the notifications that are coming through BOMA, and also seeing the notifications on ZipRecruiter, and just, of course, the insider talk. And we've got a really good idea of what's coming down the pipes. And so we're trying to make sure that we have that, sewed up on Leticia's end, so we can quickly get the commercial real estate back into business and getting everything moving as quickly as as soon as we get the green light to do so.
That's good. And are you mentioned, I think, a little bit that some of the um, property managers have gone down to reduce staff, things like that. So how else has this affected the clients that you're working with, and how can you help address that with them?
So with reduced staff, it's stressful. They're at home and they're not at their properties, and so um, that's that. You spend more time sometimes at the job than you do at home. So, I've definitely had some conversations with senior property managers, and even some chiefs, and it's a pinch, and they are ready for it to return back to normal as quickly as possible. So right now we're just it's there's not much that can be done. It's kind of a wait and see. And we just want them to know that we are there for them. And if there's anything that we can do for them between now and then, if they, foresee anything that's coming up in the future that we can, be of help with when it comes to staffing, we've definitely will be there for them. But as of right now, it's kind of a wait and see. Let us know what might be happening in the future, and we'll try to be proactive and make sure that we're on top of that.
All right. So, kind of along those lines, what advice would you have for people that are looking for a job right now?
My biggest advice, especially if they're going through us, please do that one-way interview. It's going to, first off, you're going to stand out because your video is going directly to the hiring manager's computer. They click play and it's your time to shine. And of course, it's not going to be perfect. We all make mistakes, right? But it is something that's going to make you stand out among the rest. So definitely get with us, and so we can get you those questions to do the one-way interview. It will absolutely 110% get you will stand out outside of any other candidates. And then I would also recommend that, um, and this seems like it would go without saying, but keep your social media clean. Everybody's sitting at home playing all day on their phones, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Do maybe use that time to make sure that everything that you're posting is positive and good, because as soon as the hiring comes up, if you don't think that those hiring managers are going to go and look at your profile, you're wrong. And unfortunately, I've seen some really good candidates just by one post. And I just would ask that any candidates be really careful that, when they're sitting at home and don't have anything to really do, that they're mindful of what they're doing on social media, because everybody sees it. So, number one, definitely do that one-way interview
Mhm.
because it's going to set you out. Number two, be careful what you're posting on social media. Make sure it's good and positive. And number three, I would continue to connect with people. LinkedIn is a virtual networking pool. You don't have to get belly to belly with somebody. So if you're in LinkedIn, make sure that you are keeping in touch with people, connecting with people, and posting good information for people to stay engaged with. And I think that whenever you return back to work and everybody's out and about, you will stand out because during that time of crisis, you rose above.
That's great advice. Don't really think about social media that, in that light, but it's a good kind of reminder that everybody's going to be looking at some of that stuff, especially if it's public. So,
Oh yeah.
um, and if they want to use this time to do some learning and maybe join that tomorrow's tech, what's the best way for them to get that information?
Oh, please email me. You can reach me at Halsey at bg-talent.com. That's CHALSEY at bg-talent.com. And we'll be sure to get you the link in order for you to get on the Zoom call. If you don't make it on the first one, that's okay, because we will have another class coming up in the future. So I love that, Tim. Yes, that is, educate yourself. Take this time to do things better for yourself in order to get you one step ahead of what everybody else is doing, because if knowledge is power, and I believe in that. That's a really good point, Tim.
Yeah, we've really tried to use this time to ramp up our own training too. I mean, we usually do quite a few in-person training classes, and now everything's moving virtual. So yeah, we're offering those as well, and I think there'll be a link in the description to be able to register for both the tomorrow's tech as well as our regular training classes. So definitely a good opportunity for some training during this time. Maybe everybody has a little bit of downtime, or maybe you're just bored and looking for something to do. There's going to be an opportunity to fill some time with some training there. So
You got it.
um, so what about on the client side? What advice might you have for any property or facilities managers?
My biggest advice is just to please be honest with us. If we send you a candidate that you don't feel would be a good fit, just pop us a quick email back that says so and so is not going to be a good fit, and just let us know why briefly. That way, we can make sure to narrow our focus, and get you better qualified candidates. Because again, time is money. We don't want to waste your time by sending you candidates that aren't qualified or not within the skill sets that you're looking for. So always just be very honest with us. If you have to pick up the phone and talk to me, Leticia, and say, this is what I really need. You were almost there, but I'm really looking for somebody that has a little bit more experience. And then we'll be able to make sure that we get the best candidate in front of you. And just quick time turnaround, and in an honest timeline is always helps us. So if you call us and say, I'm looking for a property manager, just let us know. I mean, are you looking a month from now, or are you looking 6 months from now? Because when we start calling our candidates to fill the position, the sense of urgency is going to change depending upon when you're looking. So two things is just really candid feedback, and number two, just an honest timeline and what we can expect from you, and we'll make sure that we get you the good customer service that you're seeking.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned ZipRecruiter. We've tried that before, and I think we may have gotten that tree trimmer you mentioned. I mean, I think it was for an accounting administrator position. I mean, it was
That yeah.
a little bit of everything comes in on those. So I definitely could see not only the time savings, but being more focused on the commercial real estate, being able to provide relevant, good candidates in a timely manner. Um, definitely being worth that fee. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yes, for
Very
sure.
cool. Well, I think that about wraps up our episode for today. Cynthia, I really appreciate you having on. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Awesome. And I also want to thank everyone for watching this episode of Building Value. We will see you on the next one.